when we look at that third quarter sequence, both Oregon and Maryland come out flat to start the third quarter. They trade short possessions. At that point, when I don't know, and we'll ask Dusty about this too, whether it's Lanning, whether it's Stein, other people pulling the strings saying, let's do something different. Let's do something a little bit radical. Let's run a fake here. For you, like that you're going to that to shake things up and make something happen in that moment, or more frustrated that you have to dip into the bag of tricks to get something going?
I don't really care. I think that you were looking for a certain look. Like Dusty during the game, he goes, hey, it's just like last year with Rodgers, where they did the same thing against Colorado where Rodgers catches it and he took off. To me, that tells me that Colorado last year was giving a very similar look to what Maryland was giving you in this game. And so it was schemed up before the game, and they had practiced it and they'd ran it. And hey, if we're in, between the 30 and the 30 and we're on the right hash, you're probably going to get this look. And if you get this look, this is the fake that we're going to do. And so I don't necessarily think that you had to do it. I don't necessarily think that Coach Lanning went out there and was like, we're calling this fake. It was, you got the look that you thought you were going to get and you ran the fake. And the only reason you wouldn't run the fake is if you were up by 40 at that point.
And I guess that's the thing I love about this staff.
That's coaching.
It seems like and maybe more than a lot of others, it seems like they have something for every situation, and they have a lot in their back pocket. They have a lot holstered and ready to go, and it seems like they are ultimately prepared for every possible scenario. And then when that scenario presents itself, you're already ready to go. And that's one of the most impressive things about this staff to me.
Interesting, though, that you point out that they pull it out in what was, a pretty bleak quarter for them. The third quarter has been kind of a black hole. Coming in today, it was 3 points for Oregon all season in the third quarter, and they came out again in their first drive and they went 3 and out. But you heard Dan Lanning, I think, with Dusty in the postgame talking about how they practiced that Josh Connerly 2-point conversion 50 times in practice. So I'm assuming they are practicing that fake punt. And not only are they looking for the correct situation, but, like you said, Buck, maybe it was time for Dan Lanning finally to just be like, we need to do something different in the third quarter, and maybe this is the time to throw something unexpected at them. Because right after that, didn't they follow it up with a flea flicker? They did the fake punt, 36-yard run by Jeffrey Bossa, and then a flea flicker, which wasn't successful, but it just seems like, okay,
the full bag of tricks.
Yeah, I need to do something here.
Yeah, and then, of course, you followed up by putting in a tackle who hasn't played all season to catch a touchdown pass, which ends up being a record breaker. And then you have your big hog molly up front taking the 2-point conversion. So lots of tricks there. And then also want to make sure before we get too far into the show that we give Dillon Gabriel his flowers. Obviously, he's had as many opportunities to do it as anybody in college history with redshirting in the extra COVID year and all that. But 179 total touchdowns now, passing Case Keenum for the most accounted for all time. It's a combination of rushing and passing, but he breaks the record, and now your forever trivia answer, Jernoris Wilson, offensive tackle, with the record-breaking touchdown.
How high up do you think that number gets? Because we're counting all the rest of Oregon's games.
Yeah.
Yep.
How high up does that number get? Because when you really think about it, that could become a very astronomical
number. It could be almost an unbreakable number.
To be honest, I would have, if I'm Case Keenum, I would have thought that it was.
Yeah.
Because the only reason that it was as high as it was because Case Keenum started from
for all
day
4
one.
years, right?
Right. And Case knew that he was going to be a mid-round pick at best. Like, Case Keenum had to play perfect in college to be a day 3 draft pick. Not necessarily saying that Dillon Gabriel isn't going to be. Like, there's a reason why Dillon Gabriel is still in college. But just with the way that college football is trending now, I think you're more likely to see guys who are 1-2 year starters and bouncing to the NFL than you are to see guys who stick around for the full 5.
For sure.
It's not what they do anymore. So I think when it's all said and done, like, we could be looking at a quarterback who gets close to 200 accounted for touchdowns.
So that's what I was wondering is do we knock on the door of 200? Because you have the 2 games left regular season. You're assuming at this point in time you're getting a Big Ten championship game.
You should get at minimum
a minimum of 4 games. So you would still need 5 touchdowns a game. But if you get 6 games, now you get a 3 or 4 or 5 touchdown game in there. You might be talking. You make a championship run.
7.
I think you're cracking it. So
4 times 3 is 12. Yeah, there's definitely a possibility.
It's in play. Let's say.